primitive. Yarr. Nasty skeletons. Hey, I'm from the yard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one, the only Rum Boys Fantasy Network. And as always, I am your host, your boy, Rum Boys Robbie, aka the Admiral. And as always, joining me, my co-host. We had him on a little hiatus for a minute, but he is back. The quality of the Rum Report is back. Representing RumBoys.com, the Rum Boys Combat Division, the head of the Rum Boys Combat Division, Jake Miller, ladies and gentlemen. What is good, bro?
We had some fights, a little bit of a break, which is nice, and we can catch up and finally get a pay-per-view that feels like it isn't in a state of panic.
Yeah.
Plus,
absolutely.
The greatest of all time, and Amanda Nunes will defend her title, so that's always fun to watch.
The Lioness. Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to be breaking down that fight later on in the show. You guys are locked in, strapped up, ready to rock with us here on this voyage through the world of sports. We got players getting locked up. The Last Dance just wrapped up. People are getting punched in the face over this past weekend, and more of that to come. Sports are opening back up. We done whooped that motherfucker coronavirus in the face and we told it to get out of here. And now we are back here on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. But before we get into it, we do got to make sure that we take care of some bills. We got to keep the lights on up in this biatch. So, Jake, let the people know what's good.
Yeah. Do you miss the feeling of winning cold hard cash off of the daily fantasy sports that you know and love? Well, then head over to monkeyfightnight.com and get in on the action now and use promo code RUMBOYS, the Z, for a match on your first deposit up to $50. It ain't rocket science. MKF has legal online sports games that are fun and easy to play, so sign up and use the promo code RUMBOYS today and start winning money now.
Hey, there we go. Good shit, Jake. Good shit, man. So legit.
And, yeah.
What's up?
Pulled a little bit of a Z. It's all right.
Yeah, a little bit. I was about to say, you seeded it just.
It's okay. I did mispronounce. I ran out of breath. Big difference.
No, you did not mispronounce, so that is good. Am I coming in okay? Am I good on your side?
You're good, man. Yeah, you must have changed headphones, right?
Yep. I did just go ahead and take care of that. I also want to let you guys know about our partnership with Fanatics.com. Make sure that you guys head over to Fanatics.com. But don't just go to Fanatics.com. Utilize the Rum Boys Fantasy Network link that I'm effortlessly about to drop in the chat here. I'm having a little bit of a struggle with it as Jake's grandfather clock is going off in the background.
You might hear some wind chimes too because the door is open for the pets to look outside. So you might hear.
I dig it.
Yeah.
But no, so link that I just dropped in the chat. Head over to Fanatics.com, utilizing the Rum Boys Fantasy Network, Fantasy Network's link. We do have 25% on site-wide going on over there with the promo codes Loop and the promo codes Pick. So if you use Loop or Pick in all caps, 25% off site-wide. Use our click. I see a couple of you guys been checking it out. Go ahead and keep diving on over in there to Fanatics. Get some gear from all of your favorite sports, teams, players, and leagues. Dilly. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive off into this show. Y'all know how the hell we got to do. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. And all the Rum Boys and girls what to do. Dilly. Hell yes. Jake, is dry week done over there for you, bud?
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. It was Friday at midnight, basically.
How did you celebrate that?
Oh, I stayed up and I watched Naruto for 3 hours and killed half a bottle. Well, this much wild turkey.
I fucking love your style, man. Speaking
Yeah.
of style,
Well, playing Animal Crossing, by the way.
fucking legit. Oh,
Yeah.
the Animal
No
Crossing
joke.
things I've been seeing lately are fucking hilarious. By the way, you guys keep me entertained on the gram with those. It's pretty fucking interesting. Um, Diving into the first topic here at the top of the show, South Korea's FC Seoul soccer team. I don't know if you heard about this or not. Had to apologize for its use of sex dolls in the stands to simulate fans being in the crowd. Was this a good idea or just a completely bad idea on Seoul FC's part?
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, if they're gonna go all out, use robots. But I guess they didn't get that far yet. It's such a bad idea because I think at that point, the reason there's fans is for the players only. I think, and it's like we're gonna zoom to people in the stands when we could just keep something focused on the field and not even show fans to begin with, right? So what is the purpose of having fake fans when you're not going to show a crowd reaction?
Just imagine.
Then he uses a sex doll, which is hilarious.
I mean, yeah. Imagine that shot to the fans, and then we go to the fans with the reaction, and it's just a doll there, like waiting for a dick just to enter her mouth. Like it'd be so
Maybe
bad.
Was the arena called the BBC? Like the Miami Dolphins? That would have been great if that's a meme about it. If that is the name of that arena, it should have been done.
I do not believe that the name of the arena was the
They
BBC.
should have named it that for one game to make a joke out of it.
That would have been great. By the way, did you know that there is a rum called BBD, Big Black Dick? The owner of Fantasy Go showed this shit to me while I was featured on his podcast. I was like, "What the fuck is that, dude?" He's
I think
like,
Colorado you can import alcohol, right?
"Yeah." I was like, you know,
Off of the internet, you're good.
Yeah.
You can purchase that.
Well,
Probably like $8 and awful. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I mean, I don't know
The
if
cool names are always not as good.
I don't know if I drink something, called Big Black Dick. Like, hey, take a sip of this. Like, you know what? I'm good, man. You know, just the name alone detracts me. But yeah, he was an Aussie guy, Dave. He was on our show once.
I tried a doggy style IPA.
Yo, I've had that. I've had that.
I've had a raw dog
Raging
IPA.
Bitch. Yeah, I've had raw dog. I've had Raging Bitch. Yeah, those.
Yeah,
are
I mean,
we got lay off a topic there with names. But yeah, Seoul FC, they used goddamn sex dolls in the stands. Like, I can only imagine if Connor Berkey says robots are too expensive, use the sex dolls. One positive thing here is that if you're with like if you're down with the whole feminist movement, you got to feel good about this, right? This was a all female attended sports event.
yes.
I'm not saying that the sex doll industry is not out there, making sex dolls.
Hey, at least they're getting people working, right?
Yeah.
At least they're opening their economy. Somebody had to start working and drive those and move those things.
I'm trying to figure out how the company that makes those things during these trying times,
Well, I don't think South Korea is as strict. They opened up pretty quick, right?
I mean,
They were like the first to open up.
pretty quick. I mean, but in the middle of freaking quarantine, I mean, everything is practically made over there. I mean, how is there an extra surplus of dolls to go around anyways? I mean, you can't find toilet paper or weights, but they can fill the stands with sex dolls. What's this world coming to? What is this world coming to? Let's dive into the next topic. I am sure that the sex doll industry has had enough of us promoting them. LeBron James recently detailed that he was potentially going to be a two-sport athlete, right? And he stated that Jerry Jones actually made him an offer to be a Dallas Cowboy. LeBron actually has a copy of the contract that he keeps framed in his office. Let's play what if. This was during the 2011 NBA lockout. Okay. Yeah, Connor Burke definitely not sponsored that last segment. But this was during the 2011 lockout. Would this make LeBron probably the best two-sport athlete ever? He did play back in the day at Oak Hill, by the way.
Oh, well, Oak Hill?
or whatever. Not Oak Hill.
St. Vincent St. Mary. Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Akron.
Wow, I can't believe I just did that shit.
Yeah. He beat Oak Hill.
Yeah.
2002, Carmelo Anthony.
This is correct.
But yeah, he would have been the best two-sport athlete ever, but he also would have had a short career, and it would have been a much less successful basketball career. So I'm glad he didn't do it, and I feel like this was a legit contract because he had a commercial about playing for the Browns and replacing Kellen Winslow as a joke. Like when the Browns were decent, he was wearing number 80. So, yeah, he could have been a two-sport athlete, but I'm glad he didn't, and I think in the end of it all, man, the reason you see these two-sport athletes go to football is because if you're tough, big, strong, they'll find a spot for you. But a lot of these guys are more beat up by football, like Bo Jackson and Dion, than they ever were from baseball. And even if Dion played baseball, he probably could have had a longer career as a role guy. So glad he didn't do it. But yeah, he would have had a good 7-8 year run in both sports, I think.
So Bill's mom.
Oh, tight end for sure. He would have been tight end, no doubt.
Yo, hold the fuck up.
He would have been a bigger Gronk. He would have been a 6'8", 270 Gronk probably.
Greatly apologize to everyone.
Oh yeah, Connor Burke. We're talking football player, all pro Kellen Winslow Jr. Not in 2007, 2008. We're not talking.
Really quick, I just realized
Serving 15 years.
I never hit the fucking record button over on our Spotify, Anchor, and everything. So Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Make sure you guys tune into the YouTube for the first half of this show. Not half, but you only missed one segment, which was these sex dolls used in South Korea and Seoul, Korea, in a FC Seoul soccer game attended. So that's pretty hilarious. Make sure you guys check that out over on the tube. Subscribe over on the YouTube as well. But yes, back to LeBron being a two-sport athlete. You stated that yes, you feel that he could have been. Bill's Mafia Rob in the chat saying LeBron would have played either tight end or defensive end.
Probably tight end, man. His vertical would be unavoidable for the coaches to say, okay, this guy's a red zone guy, at least for a long period of time. There's no way he'd be anything other than a tight end, I don't think. Unless he's going to block a kick and try to jump over the line, but you can't do that anymore.
Right, Cowboys still go 8-8. I can see that. So here are my thoughts, right? Here are my thoughts. Being a two-sport athlete at a professional level, I feel it takes a lot more, especially because different sports utilize different movements, muscle structures, and different things like that. So with that being said and with that being stated, I'm about to probably piss a whole hell of a lot of people off. LeBron ain't no goddamn way in hell that you were putting on a pair of pads and a freaking helmet and you were going to deal with a freaking middle linebacker, okay, ready to knock your head off on a goddamn slant route as you're coming across the middle. That ain't happening, my guy. And
he could do it. He wouldn't do it.
I don't think he could do it. I don't think they could do it. Here's my thing, and here's why I state that he just could not do it. Basketball players are soft. Yeah, I said it, and I'm going to be the guy to say it, and I probably always will be the one guy in sports media to completely just voice that. Basketball players are completely and totally fucking soft. So if you expect me to believe that a basketball player who cries over a little foul is going to just get leveled repetitively over and over and over and over again. I'm not talking about the guys that converted from being basketball players at the college level, the Antonio Gates of the world and guys like that. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about these wussy-ass type of players that, at the end of the day, you're a basketball player. I feel like if you choose to play professional basketball and you could have played professional football, it's because that you knew deep down inside that you weren't willing to get up and get your bell rung over and over and over and over again.
Oh, I think he would have been able to do it if he committed. But, again, he was the reason his teammates got recruited to play college football. He was the star on that high school team for St. Vincent St. Mary, and he was one of the top receivers in the country. It's just, I mean, it makes sense, man. Do you go to school for 3 years and then go to the NFL and play for 7, or do you sign $100 million with Nike in high school and get benefits that you were in your senior season almost? But yeah, it just made sense. I feel like when you talk about these best two-sport athletes, it's always easiest for them to get into football, or their football's their sport, because you can go in, get into shape, and if you want to deal with some hits, you can do it and play if you're a big athlete. I think the harder part is the Bo Jackson and LeBron, who are playing baseball and basketball for their sports. I think a lot of athletes
did basketball and baseball.
Yeah, like Dion was less impressive to me because he wasn't good, and I think it's harder to be a great baseball player and pick it up than a great football player.
See, Dion, Jordan, Bo, Kyler Murray.
Bo's different. Bo's a legit all-pro player and legitimate all-star. So,
by the way, Jessica Can Fly over on Sportscaster. I just followed you. Hopefully, you follow us back. Greatly appreciate it. Hit that green button over there. All the new people watching on Sportscaster, make an account. Hit that green button. Big shout out to Sportscaster.com. Download the app on all iOS devices. Dude, my thing with those guys, all those two-sport athletes, Russell Wilson mentions Miles. Baseball, you can be a baseball and basketball player because you're not getting run constantly. You may take a 90-mile per hour pitch to the fucking rib cage, to the elbows. That can happen, and I'm not doubting that how severe the severity of pain that must hurt. But if you're going to try and convince me that anyone can be a two-sport athlete at a professional level and do so in the sport of football, and one of their sports being football, there was one man and one man only that I feel that's ever came close, and that's Nate Robinson. And I feel like Nate Robinson was one of the few people that probably could have done it. The problem with him is that 5'10" playing corner in the NFL. I get that you could jump out the gym, young man, but them receivers, they're taller and they're jumping.
He was like 33 too when he tried it for Seattle. Exactly. So he was not a young man anymore. So, yeah, I just think if you're gonna say a sport that a player could end up joining later, it's much easier, in my opinion, for a top basketball player with LeBron's build to go to the NFL than LeBron to go back to the NBA after playing football. I mean, I don't know if that's the football players, but I think football, if you're an athlete, they'll find a spot for you if you're big and strong enough and have the frame for it. It's very hard to lock into an NBA and MLB contract because it's harder to be good at that because you have to play that for longer. You don't see many guys say, I started to play baseball as a sophomore in high school. Yep. Or basketball players say, I didn't play till my junior year. You see a lot of football players say, yeah, I played as a senior and it was big and I got it, and now I'm a center in the NFL. So, I think LeBron could have done it. I don't think you should play football if you could play other sports. I think you should avoid playing in the NFL if you can.
Yeah.
I mean,
Miles is right. Quavo of the Migos was a two-sport athlete.
And
Blueface was a quarterback.
Bogart. Russell was invited to, I think, the Rangers camp or something as just a fun little thing. But he played 1 year of minor league baseball before Wisconsin. Yep. Never in the NFL.
And it was like spring training.
He was awful. He was pretty bad.
There's a lot of guys out there that claim they're two-sport athletes. Like Pat McAfee jokes all the time. Like, yeah, I played in baseball. I played in a AA baseball game. It's not really being a two-sport athlete. You play in a game because you have a name. Your name gets you clout, and you're going to be put on that roster for just for shits and giggles and publicity. It's not like that. I mean, so yeah. Herschel Walker, was Herschel Walker a two-sport athlete? UFC, that's right. You are correct.
Not UFC, Strikeforce. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're correct. Herschel Walker fought. So did wow, his name's Greg Hardy, even though I hate him.
Yeah. Anders, who just got his ass beat.
Anders played football. Oh yeah, that's right. He did. But I mean, a lot of these guys that say they're two-sport athletes, I just kind of don't see it in them.
I think most athletes growing up, if you become a pro athlete, you're a two-sport athlete at one point in your life.
Right.
I mean, you could mock quarterbacks in terms of athletic ability, but even like guys like Mahomes, Brady, and Baker, who are good athletes to the average person in their prime, like if you compare them to other NFL players, they were baseball players. They still were good D1 recruits in baseball.
Yep.
Kyler Murray was a D1 recruit in baseball. They were just good at it. They weren't top D1 recruits, but like, yeah, they can play baseball. Like they can hit a high school pitcher pretty
there
well.
was a rugby player that ran track and he played rugby. You know, I mean, like don't get me wrong. I mean, I just don't see like at a professional level. Like I said, you're not maintaining a NBA and an NFL career. Like it's just not possible. Like I don't feel like that's humanly possible. It is humanly possible to be NFL, MLB, NBA, MLB. That is a possible connection that I see. It is possible to be NFL, PGA. Tony Romo was a two-sport athlete. Tony Romo is a great golfer. Which, by the way, he'll be.
Didn't he get killed for that because he came off back surgery and played golf all summer or something?
Yeah,
People were not
yes,
happy
he
with
got
him.
ruined for that. Like, how are you gonna play golf? His swing actually got really fucking good. Now that we're talking about it and the weather's looking really nice out here in Colorado Springs,
and golf courses are open here, man.
Yep, golf courses are open. I might go take a fucking couple of swings this weekend. Wife and kid are going to be out of town. Might go.
Matt Riddle count? I don't know if you count wrestling as a sport. It's definitely a physical beatdown, but it's entertainment.
Yeah, if we were going to do that, then we would need to talk about Brock Lesnar as like a fucking faceted athlete. I mean, the dude played football, wrestled, and UFC.
Yeah, I mean, Lesnar's a two-sport athlete. I mean, football didn't really work out for him.
Like, I'm going to be honest.
He was okay.
I'm going to be honest.
He was a wrestler and UFC fighter.
I'm going to be completely honest. This is the final thing that I have to say about the topic. LeBron, if you put on a fucking pair of shoulder pads, you would get crushed against those grown-ass men out there. And I get that you are a grown-ass man in your own craft and in your own world, but the NFL is not a world that any basketball player, I feel, should step into. Unless they are cultured for that environment from the high school and college level. Because like I said, there's, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates could have probably played in the NBA, but instead chose the NFL. But I think that's just because he knew that he was just more of a physical specimen that can handle the beating that comes in and out and in and out of getting hit play after play.
Straight from Hartville, Ohio, man. Kent State.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's continue, man. Let's get into the next topic.
So he played high school and college at Kent, and he's retiring in the same town in Canton. That's like full circle for him.
Fucking beautiful story. If only he ended up.
Oh no, his speech will be awesome then, because he's like, yeah, I lived here for like 22 years of my life, and I'm in the Hall of Fame.
If only that resulted in him getting a ring, my good friend.
Yeah, well, we could blame LaDainian Tomlinson for snapping his knee every year in the playoffs for that.
We'll probably, you know what? You just made me think of an off the cup topic. We'll probably get into later if we have enough time. Let's go ahead. Let's roll into the next topic, which is The Last Dance. It just wrapped up after 10 episodes. And the question remains, could the Bulls have won 7? Do you think that the Bulls could have won 7? Jordan is in this delusion of a world, I feel, that he could have won 7. What are your thoughts?
No, I think when dynasties break up, they break up at the right time. I tend to believe everybody was over it, and I don't think there was any way you're keeping Pippen happy anymore. He wasn't happy in Chicago those last few years anyways with his contract. I don't think there's any way that team could come back, and one thing about it is if you have the same rules and same motivation, yes, because Jordan could have taken a back seat and they still could have won probably in that era because they were winning 55 games and 57 without him those years he missed. But the issue would be the rules were different, and at that point they could not keep that team together. And let's think about this. When Jordan had the luck of having a really strict free agent market where you couldn't leave if a team could match, and salary caps were pretty loose. So if you were drafted onto a team, you could never leave. By 97, 98, Shaq broke that way off, right? And everyone was moving around and leaving. And you could not have kept those names in that city. It was just not going to happen. And people are going to blame the GM and ownership and stuff for letting the team break up, but free agency took over when Shaq left, and egos were like, I can go somewhere else now. I feel free. And at that point, I mean, Shaq broke open the door for teams to move around. So yeah, the rules are not on their side.
So I'm gonna be completely fucking honest, and may he rest. Excuse me. May he rest in peace. But this is the role that you chose. You chose to be the heel of the 90s when it came to GMs. I'm sorry. Fuck Jerry Krause.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jerry wanted him to be the center of attention. I feel like secretly the short fat fuck envied the Black Cat, envied Black Jesus, envied Air Jordan. And because he could not have that limelight.
That's sports in general, man. What's the dude's name from the Warriors who always gave the first speech after they won those titles? The GM for the Warriors who was praised?
I can't remember.
The opening speech was him making fun of KD and Steph Curry, being like, I brought you guys here. I deserve the credit, right? Like, sarcastically, but, like, you gave the opening speech on a parade, dude. You're the GM. Like, get away. Nobody really cares about you. Dude. Congratulations, you brought Kevin Durant and Steph Curry onto the same team. You're a genius.
Yeah, but he couldn't. But even he couldn't keep it all together. I mean, and KD, inevitably chose his own path. I mean, in terms of Krause, I mean, I feel like back then you could have gotten away with them. And maybe this is just maybe me not thinking like a GM. Back then, you probably could have gotten away with, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like it was early enough in that game's development and where the NBA was going and in the trajectory of that sport, to where you could have probably followed that formula. I mean, look at how the Bulls did the Pistons, brother. The Pistons the bad boys did not break up until they got sent home. Then they broke up. Then it was time for the rebuild.
Yeah. And, well, they tried to come back, but Isaiah Thomas snapped his Achilles. It was over. But
yep. And Rob,
I think we had to look at it in a different way, too. The 90s GMs came from the idea that if I draft you, I control your rights because there's no unrestricted free agency. Then Shaq left. And then the NBA had to allow unrestricted free agency people to leave. And it's like, well, now you have to really get your players to like you. In the 90s, no GM was liked. So, because the players could not leave that franchise because they could always get matched. If they weren't happy with playing time, we don't want you on that team, we'll pay you. Doesn't matter, we're going to pay you to keep you on the bench. So I think there was a mentality throughout the league. Just with Jordan, it was more obvious because Jordan's Jordan. Of, if you're a GM and I draft you, I own your rights as a player forever. Because you can't go where you want because I can match. And I think that was a transition to like 2003 where it's like, no, players are going to move where they want, when they want, how they want. And then GMs had to loosen their restraints on it. But I think the entire 90s GMs, collective group, were very power hungry and very, compliment seeking because they built that team and kept it together because they could. And I think it was just a cultural thing too. I don't think it's which player mobility ruined. So now the players have more power than the owners and GMs. But back then it was the GMs.
It's just crazy to think that you'd want to break something up. I mean, it's just seeing Jordan, at the end of episode 10, talk about, Phil would have came back, Pippen would have came back, to actually.
I think Phil was done, man. I don't know about you. I think Phil was absolutely done. I think MJ was convinced of it. Phil Jackson just wanted to go and smoke weed in LA, dude.
Yeah, and that's what I found.
100%. He was done.
It was done. They had already told me. I mean, why would you want to come back to an organization after they already told you this is gonna be the fucking end? If it's gonna be the end, then just like I'm not gonna come back here and be like you already had me tell the players, tell the fans. I've had a whole fucking press conference to be like it's done. Like I don't care what you say. Like let's go for 7, bro. You already said that it's done. I've already mentally prepared myself for it to be done. I done told my family, my wife, my kids that we're going back to Cali, and then now you want to nah, bro. Like I agree. And from that standpoint, I think they could have won a 7th just because they were the greatest team to ever be assembled.
Yeah, I think at that point it would have been great for them, but it would have come down to MJ was aging rapidly, and Pippen could have taken over. I don't know if MJ would have wanted Pippen to take any more of a role. I think MJ would have decided to, as his 38-year-old self, rush himself out there regardless and not save himself for the playoffs. And I don't think he would have taken the ego as well of okay, I'm aging, Pippen's a little younger, it'll work out. You get us there, get me in the playoffs. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think LeBron's going to do it. I don't think it didn't happen to Kobe. I don't think Jordan would have ever accepted a lesser role due to his aging years.
Is it safe to say that and as we look back in history and we look back at time, me personally, when that episode ended last night, I'm sitting back and, and I'm having a nice cigar and a rum on the rocks. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself as the show was ending, I'm like, you know what? That ended just the way, not the documentary per se, but that time frame, that time in history wrapped up just the way that honestly
it had to.
It should have.
Because that's what I'm thinking. What good athlete and great Hall of Fame athlete went out taking a lesser role besides Vince Carter?
Bro, I remember
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron's gonna go out in a bad way too when he refuses to take games off, and he already is. I could keep going. T-Mac broke himself down because he wouldn't take a break from injuries.
Yep.
I could name every baseball player, Carlos Stanton. It's so easy just to think about how players who are good, like Jordan, if they kept it together and Phil Jackson's like, we're gonna take your usage down to maybe 25% lower, give Pippen a bigger contract, we're gonna let him take over. He's a little younger than you. No, Jordan's walking away and retiring. No way he agrees to that. And he shouldn't. Prideful athletes don't, even though they should.
I'm with you.
So I think it ended how it should. Nobody was happy with each other, and no one's cool. They never really got along too well, and it ended that way. And that's kind of how it worked out.
And I remember being, 7, 8 years old. We were living in Prince George's County, Maryland at the time, and watching, watching them take on the Utah Jazz and just, how much of a pain in the ass like John Stockton was, but yet I was also, I was a fan of Jordan. How kids these days, they couple, Curry, KD, Westbrook, all those guys together. Back then, I remember coupling, Malone, Jordan, fucking, Barkley, Ewing, those were my guys, back then, that I was if we put all these, those were the guys that when I was playing NBA Live or NBA Jam back then. NBA Jam was the game back then, actually. I would put them all on the team.
NBA Jam and NBA 2K started 2000. Yeah. It was not
Reggie Miller, give me fucking Reggie Miller from 3 all day. So I like that The Last Dance, also highlighted it and touched on all those guys as well, because those guys were also great players from that era. When anyone's Jordan didn't face great competition, bullshit, suck my dick, you don't know sports, okay? He faced great competition, absolutely amazing competition. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into the next topic. And we're actually going to keep it on the documentary here. Now knowing that it was, and of course we're talking about the flu game right now, so we're about to go flu game 6 right here. Now knowing that it was food poisoning, it was a food poisoning pizza game and not a flu game, actually. So now we all stand corrected. Every sports historian.
I didn't believe that either. I think he just got drunk. I'm just saying. But
I mean, this documentary reveals that it's a food poisoning pizza game. Is this still impressive knowing that it's not the flu and he just really had to shit a lot? Or, I mean, does it kind of diminish away from like, can you still buy flu game J's and be like, yeah, these are my flu game 11s, you know?
well, I mean, athletes play when they're sick, and I guess you could say, yeah, it's tough, man. It's really hard to play like when they do injuries and stuff. I could name the Magic Johnson game, Isaiah Thomas playing on a broken ankle, putting 25 up in a quarter. There's a lot of great stories of it. But I don't really care. He played through it. And I think MJ might have had too much to drink the night before, to be honest. And I think he was just sick the entire day. I don't really buy the flu game thing. I think he literally was hungover. Might have had alcohol poisoning because he did party and drink a lot before games. And I think that was just too much of a night. So I don't really buy that it was a flu game. I think it was self-inflicted. But he played through it, props to him. But I think that's a cover, man. I don't know. I don't buy he just got sick for one day or food poisoning for a day. I think he just got trashed.
Ooh, probably the bread 11s. I don't know, bread 11s, yo. I mean, that's a very hard choice.
Which, again, I don't care how he played great. I don't care how he got sick. But I think he just got trashed, to be honest.
So, here's my outlook. All right. So first off, still an impressive feat. All right. Because like I've played a football game like full gear, full pads, and everything where I've had to fucking take a shit. Like my stomach is just killing me, and it's just bad. Like so props to him. Period.
Yeah.
Said the mafia sent that pizza. Oh my gosh, MJ was smoking too many Newports the night before. That ain't gonna make you sick like that. What I'm thinking is there's a good old fashioned saying called karma's a bitch, right? So, to my understanding, the pizza is delivered to Jordan. Jordan assumes said pizza. Jordan then spits on said pizza and is like, fuck all you guys. You all ate without me. So this pizza's all mine. I also add on to what Jake was saying. There was a little bit of they were having some beers. Jordan was infamous for having a cold beer before.
No, MJ said before game 1 of the playoff series against the Knicks, he had a 6-pack and just laid back and smoked cigars, and he went to the game pretty drunk.
Yeah,
and he still put up a good game. Like MJ did drink before games, man.
Hey,
good for him, man. It worked. I'm not gonna question that. I mean, Stone Cold showed up trash. It worked well for him.
Yeah.
A lot of guys showed up trash, and MJ did admit, he's like, I've been drunk a lot before games, man. It's just how we did things.
We do this show trash, like it fucking. We perform at a very high level, I feel.
You don't think LeBron's had a few glasses of wine in the locker room before a game? I mean, come on.
Clinton Portis drank before a game. The Hennessy shots, the Henny team, the Redskins Henny team. So I mean, what I feel is that karma came back and bit him in the ass for spitting on the pizza. You do not be ugly and nasty and rude toward your teammates. Yo, Arthur is in the chat. My little bro Arthur, dilly to fucking Arthur. I remember partying up with that motherfucker back in LA. Here's the Arthur, man. I hope it's doing well. Hope the family's doing well. Dilly, bro. But fucking like I'll have a couple beers while I'm laced up my cleats, get my mouthpiece in, getting geared up. I think that karma came back and it was like, yo, you can't be mean to your teammates. You want to be mean to your teammates? Watch this motherfucker. Even basketball Jesus can be touched. And then he got stuck with some food poisoning, Maybe he could have already been carrying something. He spit on the pizza and then he breathed it back into his body by spitting on the pizza.
And the beard probably didn't help either.
Oh, the beard definitely didn't help. What kind of beer do you think MJ drinks? Probably not the cheap shit that I drink. Well, he was holding Miller Lights during the fucking.
It was the 90s, dude. I mean, the craft option was worse than Blue Moon, man. Yeah. I mean, I think MJ's life was just in the off season. Besides that month of training before the season, blackout drunk, gamble, smoke cigars, man. Whatever he could get his hands on. He didn't seem like, no offense to him, the best family man, and it's proven he
Well,
wasn't, right? He
yeah.
just seemed to live his life, and whatever he can get his hands on, and I'm sure he didn't pay for anything, right?
Talk to him.
So, oh, do you want a beer, MJ? Yeah, I don't care what it is. Give me a beer. Do you have a cigar? Yeah. Do you want to play at the tables? Yeah, sure. Like, I don't think he cared.
Speaking of cigars, I will be rolling through with a fine Cuban stogie on Rumblings After Dark this weekend. So make sure you guys tune in. It's gonna be a very elegant Friday night. Shout out to my plug out in Cuba, hooking that up. Can YouTube
Yeah, who was the athlete? He's a receiver. He said he smoked weed before like every game.
Percy Harvin?
Yeah.
Yup.
So I mean,
Sure, Josh Gordon. Yeah, Josh
athletes
Gordon.
can cope, man. Athletes probably do it as a routine, honestly.
By the way, can I get blocked for stating that I'm getting cigars imported? Is it still illegal to get cigars imported? Like, you can still get cigars imported. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I mean, I'm not sure the Cuban cigar has the same quality as it used to, anyways. To be honest, you see so many knockoffs now. I'm not even sure what's real anymore.
There's so many knockoffs now.
I'm not sure the ones Castro had were the quality of today's. I'm sure they're much worse today.
Big facts, yo. Let's get into it. But yo, I would like to sit back and have a nice rum on the rocks and a couple cigars with you one day, bro. In the real world, not here. Yeah. So, final question about The Last Dance. Who do you want to see in the next Last Dance style documentary? A lot of debates are like Ali, Tiger Woods, Kobe. What do you feel should be next?
Those three, in terms of being athletes, seemed pretty. I mean, Kobe, besides the Colorado thing, was a pretty good family man. Tiger cleaned up his act. I'd like to see it before the whole golf club through his back window situation, see how his life was. But they'll never release that. I want to see Pete Rose, to be honest. I want to know what he gambled, when he gambled, how he gambled. 100%. That's the guy I want to see the real story of, and he'd tell his own story too. He'd admit all of it. So I'd like to see him just go uncut and go off on people.
I would love that one.
With a 18-year-old IG model in his white Bentley in Vegas.
I would love that one. That one would be pretty dope. Excuse me. Rich Gang up in the chat. What's good, Rich Gang? What's good, Rap? Billy, guys. We got a lot of OGs up here. We got Comeback Kid up in here, Rich Gang up in here, Arter. Looking like the old days. I like it. By the way, yes, Pizza Hut was the pizza that was delivered. You are right, GMM, about that little known fact. It was Pizza Hut, and the owner from the Pizza Hut has came out from that specific Pizza Hut, and he stated via his Facebook page, it was only 2 guys that went. It was not 5. He didn't even have enough guys on staff that night to be able to send 5. He stated that it was not poisoned, and he stated it was just 2 guys that delivered the pizza. He couldn't staff them all. It was not poisoned, and also he did not know that it was Michael Jordan's room that he was delivering to. So some little backstories there. You want to see Mike Tyson's true story. Mike Tyson would be a great one. I feel like the next that should be in the series.
The hard part with Mike Tyson is you really can't tell that without Cuss, right? Cus D'Amato was his right-hand man. I wish that, Cuss was so old. There was no way he'd still be alive. I wish that was around when Cus D'Amato could be with Tyson, because that's the only time he'd talk. So I don't think Mike Tyson will ever talk about those days now that Cus D'Amato passed away during his career.
That is true. I was gonna say, the Tyson is gonna be tough without Cus D'Amato. I would love to see Kobe. I feel like Kobe has to be the next one, especially with his passing. I feel like that definitely has to be one. And plus, we're talking about the next era in the 90s. If we're going to have a Last Dance-esque style documentary, let's just go with the next era in greatness, and let's just have it be Kobe. Keep that chronological kind of order going. I feel like,
we can do Kobe, LeBron, whoever comes up next in the NBA. I think it'll be Luka personally. But
I mean, I would love to see Gretzky. I would love to see Gretzky. Don't get me wrong. I think that.
But I mean, an entertainment value, it'll never happen. I don't think ESPN will ever endorse a Pete Rose documentary. But Pete Rose, I want to hear everything. I want to hear him say what he gambled on. I want to see his books I want to see the numbers he called. Like I want to see all documentation that he probably has. Plus, he's like 75 years old, man. Get it now,
bro. Is here's my thing, bro. You kind of alluded to this. I mean, Disney and ESPN just let fucking Jordan and the whole team curse for like God knows how many episodes for 2-3 weeks in a row. 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So I mean, if they're gonna allow that, why would they not allow a Pete Rose documentary?
Yeah, he'd talk too. He'd say everything. He'd snitch. Yep. That's probably why they wouldn't do it. Actually,
we got Lance Armstrong coming up. Lance Armstrong, 30 for 30 is going to be coming up. I can't wait to see how he reacts to being doped. Like so I mean, I'm excited. I personally.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe would be later. I mean, slap yourself for sure. Kobe would be a later one. I don't think it'd be. I think it would have to be a year after his induction to the Hall of Fame. Probably. They'd probably have KG and Duncan talk on it. At the Hall of Fame, they'd get the film a year ahead and edit out everything.
Does this make sports documentaries like because this is regarded as probably the best documentary ever done in sports? Does this make sports documentaries more valuable now? Like the stories, I mean, they were valuable before. Does this make them more valuable though?
I mean, if you have the uncut footage and the footage that was stored in and the IP was given permission to be released, for sure, I think. I don't think many of them will go that raw with the data of what happened in that setting and that detailed. That'd be really hard to do. The only one that I've really seen get that I think is probably comparable, and I think I'm more of an NFL guy than an NBA guy, but is the story of the Al Davis Raiders, and you have all the Raiders guys on the NFL Network going crazy. That's the best sports documentary of all time, of the Immaculate Reception and the rivalry with the Steelers. And I don't think that can't be passed, but like, the thing about it is, a lot of these athletes today, I don't think can surpass those because at that point, they said what they wanted and didn't care, and they weren't friends. I think too many athletes today are friends where they would not trash each other. Like the Raiders players did about the Steelers players. Like, they still hate each other 40 years later. Today, with social media, it can't happen. They'll have a podcast together the day they retire. The rivalries kind of die down quick, so I don't think you're going to get a really raw, entertaining documentary for a long time.
Tom Brady's last dance. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, everyone hated him, yeah. Brady could go off, Howard Stern style. That'd be great for a good 5-6 hours.
Make sure you guys check us out on rumboys.com. We are also live over on rumboys.com. If you do not know, now you know.
But yeah, just think about this. The athletes that we have today, I think LeBron would just go off on people. But like secondary in the NBA is like, of that generation, do you see Kevin Durant ever having like a super vulgar, aggressive documentary against people?
Oh yeah. I think KD would probably be I think KD probably pisses off more people than LeBron has pissed off more people. Because here's the thing with KD don't give a fuck. LeBron's like, come play with me, come be my friend. If we were to have like a LeBron documentary style, like of the Last Dance, are we gonna get as much person from like LeBron? Like we'll probably get it from like it'll be in like a completely different manner. Like LeBron's not gonna be dapping up fucking Steph Curry at the end. Is like we gave you a good run. Fuck you, bitch. Like how Jordan was like to Larry Bird. Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, Larry Bird and Jordan, that was a different era. I mean, I'm going to be honest. People are fucking soft nowadays, bro. Like, we don't have alphas. Like, we used to have alphas. Like, we used to have alphas back in the day. Like, back in the day, the alpha male was a thing. Now, these guys exchange jerseys after fucking games and shit, bro. They're so, like you said, they're so friendly. They have a podcast. They'll be sitting on the couch with fucking Taylor Lewan after Taylor Lewan just pancaked you. Like, what are you doing on Bustin' with the Boys after you just got laid out? So, I mean...
I blame the agents for that, too, because there's like 5 or 6 big agents in sports.
I blame
So
society and culture. I blame. I honestly blame society and culture. I blame the fact that we became soft as a fucking society, bro. Like we became soft as
oh no,
people.
yeah, for sure. I
You
blame the
know,
money because once players made money, nobody cared about rivalries or like trying to be hateful towards another fighter or player in their sport because once the money came in, it's like, okay, we're in this together. Players' unions became stronger, and I think that was the beginning. Once the players got paid, which, hey, good for them, but
like I'm gonna be real. If I was a professional athlete in today's day and age, there ain't no way in hell that you're catching me swapping jerseys with somebody after I just played them. Like that's just not a thing. That's just not gonna happen.
no.
If I'm playing against you, I hate you before, during, and after until I choose that our competition is settled and done and over with. Just because the points are over with and the clock is out of time. To me, the competition ain't done. The competition ain't done until I get the fuck in my car and pull off.
Yeah. Um,
I'm not even like that with
I,
podcasting though.
I
I'm not even
prefer
like
that, but
podcasting.
I think the hard part for that is just the money came into the sport. Agents are shared. You guys, a lot of players on different teams have the same brand deal because the agents get all of them for them, and it's really hard to really hate each other because you work together in the off season on the same commercials. Which, again, man, it all came down to me that players got paid working together and getting a good friendly image of the league. The NFL wasn't as profitable when it was this body bag game type of culture. So once it was like NFL play 60 minutes, whatever, or NFL 60, it was a much cleaner league because the NFL knew if we're brand friendly, the players are nice to each other, make money. So we pay the players more to be nice, they're going to do it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are tuned in here with the real Rum Report, the Rum Report, here on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, spike that like if you have not already. We are going to dive into our very first break of the show. So right here at the second half of the show, we got a beef between Michael Thomas and Devontae Parker. Ed Oliver goes to fucking jail. We got to break down some UFC and so much more. You're not going to miss the second half of the show here on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. Use promo code RUMBOYS, all spelled in all caps, over on monkeyknifefight.com if you're looking to win some cold, hard cash during this quarantine, during this pandemic. As sports get ready to come back, also make sure that you check us out over on fanatics.com. We're giving out 25% off site-wide. Use the promo codes over there, but make sure that when you go and shop for your favorite players, leagues, and sports teams, you're utilizing the Rum Boys Fantasy Network link that I'm dropping right here in the live chat. If I could drop it now. And there we go. Alrighty, so that is right there. We'll be right back with the second half of the show. Just give me one moment. How anticlimactic was that? Uh, yes, that is me coming out of a rhino's ass. We are back with the second half of the show here on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. I take my vitamins. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rum Boys and girls. What it do? Dilly, motherfucking Dilly. Hold up. Let me pour up with you, Jake. Jake, talk to people about rumboys.com really quick before we get into this next topic. What can people expect? What do we have coming out?
Well, obviously an article on the Felicia Spencer Nunez fight, and as well as Rum Boys Combat merch, which had the first sale. You should probably buy that. So, and yeah, I probably have an article up with the John Jones and Garner news if anything comes of that, because I really hope that fight happens next.
Hell yeah. We are still waiting to hear if we have a Rum Boys fighter that is going to be possibly getting an opportunity at the UFC. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. You guys can get all exclusive news on rumboys.com. Check out our newest article from Connor Burke about his Baltimore Ravens. UFC article coming by Jake Miller, who you guys see here on the screen, and much, much more. We have content dropping all week on the site, so we got a hot week for you guys. So make sure you guys head on over to rumboys.com, sign up for the website if you haven't already. Let's go ahead, dive off into this next topic. Michael Thomas has been getting a little sensitive lately. On Instagram, the star wide receiver for these Saints attacked Miami Dolphins wideout Devontae Parker on NFL Fox's post on Instagram. And that post was asking, which is tougher, breaking up a pass on Michael Thomas or catching a pass on lockdown corner Stephon Gilmore, a.k.a. Killmore, who I picked up in fantasy, by the way. I'm happy about. First question is, which is tougher, catching a pass on Gilmore or breaking up a pass against MT? Secondly, was Michael Thomas wrong for his words? Now, would you like for me to go in and read Michael Thomas's words really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I actually waited to get a initial reaction when you read it.
So here's how it went. Devontae Parker, choice A was Gilmore. Devontae Parker pops off on Fox's post. A. Can't guard Mike. Devontae Parker, for you, yes. Go run some numbers up. Then you can talk. I lapped you and you've been in the league longer. And you've been in the league longer than me, first rounder. Devontae Parker at Can't Guard Mike. Got some hard feelings there, brother. Let me get targeted 300 times a game. Devontae Parker. or I'm sorry, can't guard Mike to Devontae Parker. In other words, you weak. Don't even put my name in the same sentence as, or don't ever put your name in the same sentence as me. Remember that. Michael Thomas got his panties in a bunch, or we cool with Michael Thomas right now?
Well, obviously it's harder to guard Michael Thomas because the Saints scheme him wide open all the time. Sean Payton just gets that guy open for completions and he makes plays after the catch. So that's tougher. But this comes down to the fact that Michael Thomas actually was not drafted that high. He was a overachiever compared to his draft stock. And let's be honest, he hasn't been paid. And everyone around him has been paid. So the man is not happy with his contract. He clearly wants to get paid, and he is very much right in saying he's better than all these guys that he can call out, besides maybe one or two. I think he's the top two receiver easily. It's between he and Julio, probably, given the same situation. But he's not getting paid like it. He wants to get paid. He doesn't like Devontae Parker getting paid before him for less. And, yeah, he's like Marcus Colston. I agree with that. He's better, but yeah, similar style. He just is great in that system, and he's a great receiver overall. Probably better in other systems, but he hasn't been paid like it. He was drafted. He was a steal in the draft from Ohio State, and guess what? He's getting paid like a rookie when he's clearly a top 3 receiver. I don't blame him for it, but I don't like him going after someone else's money. So that does bother me a little bit.
All right, so I'll be honest. I think that maybe this goes back to how I felt earlier and the emotions that I expressed earlier in today's show. And that is, we are getting so fucking soft. Like, if I'm Michael Thomas and if I come at somebody else and they're like, bro, you're being sensitive, da-da-da-da-da-da. No, you're being fucking sensitive that you can't deal with the fact that I'm going at this man because I am better. Record shows I'm better. Film shows that I'm better. Stats show that I'm better. Nah, fuck you. Put respect on my name. It's harder. It's harder for you to break up a pass on me than it is for you to catch one on. Or you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm Michael Thomas, when this guy dropped in our Discord, this topic actually comes from the Rum Boys Discord. If you guys have not joined us on Discord, make sure that you join us on Discord. This topic came from SPFFA, who's not in our chat right now. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I mean, people could be like, oh, he's a crybaby, this, that, and the third. Bro, you're just being...
He wants to get paid, dude. He wants to get paid, and he wants to show he's better than the guys getting paid. Which
Michael Thomas got paid. You know, so it's not an issue of getting paid. J Love says all Devontae Parker did was give props to a corner who he plays twice a year. Michael Thomas needs to grow up. Devontae Parker didn't argue with the Michael Thomas as a kid, needs to grow up. I get that. So I get that Devontae Parker gave props to a corner that he faced twice a year because I also do see that side. But at the same time, bruh, me. Like if the post is about me, you know, like I don't know. I look at the world kind of like hip hop in a way, right? In the essence where if you ask a rapper if he's the best rapper, he or she's the best rapper, they're gonna say they're the best rapper. Because hip hop is a naturally competitive sport. You know, so me, I think I carry that with me in just everything in life. Like to me, life is a naturally competitive sport. Like if you were to put me versus Matthew Berry, who's the better fantasy analyst? Fuck Matthew Berry in that case. If that post ever comes up from a big media outlet like NFL Network or Fox, they're like, who's the better fantasy analyst? You know, and I reached that point in my career where I'm compared next to that motherfucker and I'm compared next to that person. You best believe that I'm commenting on that post to advocate for myself, like, I'm the shit. And if Matthew Berry comments, I'm like, no, here's my hit rate, here's yours. I'm starting to throw out shit. You know, you're supposed to feel like you're the best. No kid, my kid is outside right now playing. My kid is not running around saying that he wants to be fucking Devontae Parker.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a good second half of the year. good maybe 3/4 of this season, but that is what he should be going at, because at the end of it all, I think people know there's a better player, right? And it's Michael Thomas. I don't know why he was upset about it. Again, did he go at Tony Romo as well? About, I'm in the wrong field, man. Why is he getting paid more than me when he's not even playing anymore? I feel like he just wants to get his name out there right now because the Sean Payton system doesn't really make stars, I guess. Like, so I think he's trying to make his name and brand bigger at this point, and feel like he is. I mean, he's valuable, but I think he really feels like he's very valuable.
Michael Thomas doesn't need to get bigger. Like okay, so everyone
He doesn't, but I think he thinks he needs to. That's why he's interjecting all the time. I think that's part of it too, which I don't blame him. I mean, if it's gonna work and get you more Google trends, go ahead. But I think he definitely is in that setting of I have to advance my brand by putting myself in all these NFL topics, which, I mean, it works, so I'm not going to argue with it.
I'm not. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, the way I felt, that's just competitive nature. You're supposed to talk shit. I want to see more players talk shit. And I want to see more players kind of. 1 second. Hang on. Sorry. I apologize, Shade.
Yeah, J Love, he does have. I mean, it seems like he wants more love from.
So, what I'm gonna say is
Saints.
more of this. I want to see more of this. I want to see more players kind of talking shit, going back and forth. Like, I'm tired of seeing players exchange jerseys at the end of a game.
Right.
I'm tired of that. Like, you're not supposed to like each other. Like, this just get sports. The world of sports that I grew up in and the world of sports that I am commentating on and I'm reporting on are two totally fucking different worlds. Two totally different, completely different worlds. Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing would never exchange jerseys, and we expressed that in our previous segment in this show. What Michael Thomas did, I feel, was establish his confidence, establish how great he is as a wide receiver at the given era, at the given moment. You talk that shit, young man. Go on the air and back that shit up now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. And in the end of it all,
So
this
comment right here in the chat from Jaleb. I feel like Michael Thomas is insecure. Only in this generation of social media and things would we get that outlook. Like in the 90s, if this came out, this would be completely okay. Like this would be normal. But now, because we can all see it, and because we can all see it, I think that we live in a generation where the old saying really applies to where opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And I even put myself in that category because I have a camera and a fucking microphone so that I can talk about my opinions.
Yeah. I think I have a reason why that is, because the argument that you shouldn't respond to critics or peers is that you're doing it to make you look better in the fans' eyes. That's what you're not doing it indirectly. Do it in person. Make it more personal with your trash talk. Don't go online and do it. And I think at this point, it's really impossible to keep everything offline. So, but yeah, I think people can see this as he's defending himself against the fans. And they don't say it's going to Devontae at all. It's going to the fans who are criticizing him, and he's going at a fan. Which I hate athletes going at fans. I think athletes are above that. But when an athlete goes at a player, I view it differently.
I feel like athletes should go at athletes. Players should go at players.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when an athlete goes at a fan, I feel like, okay, that's low class at you. Well, that's low class of you. I feel like we're treating this as if Devontae Parker was one of us that Michael Thomas attacked.
Yeah.
You know,
we're treating it as if Michael Thomas was talking to his haters. rather than the player that was actually making the comment.
If I'm Devontae Parker, like if someone were to ask me, okay, well, Robbie, you're defending Michael Thomas. If you're Devontae Parker, what are you doing in this situation? If it was you on the receiving end of those comments,
and yes, J Love, top receivers have egos. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm in the gym. I'm getting
Michael Thomas is a big ego. They all do, and you should too.
If I'm Devontae Parker right now, and that shit just got said to me on public social media, my exact response would have been, I'll see you in a couple of months. ... And that would have been it. And I would have just been starting to upload content every day and just starting to pump weights and get out there on the field. And I'm gonna start, like I'm filming everything and I'm working out 10 times harder than I've ever worked out. Because clearly you think that you're hot shit and you think that you're better than me. So let me fucking show you that, instead of me responding, let me get 300 passes per game. Fuck you. You're admitting that you're weaker than man.
If I'm an athlete, this is what I do. I find the common opponent you played against, if you don't play each other, and that corner who would cover you, because the top corner is going to guard the best receiver, and that'd be the same exact situation for both players, right? And say 12, 135, 2, and put his, if it's like 5, 29, 0, and just put the stats against that same corner and be like, who's better? And I would just say that. I think that's all you really have to say if he did outclass him, right? And I think that would be the end-all discussion. Just like stats. Here's what happened. I outperformed you, and my team won the game. Get out.
J-Love just wrote in the chat. In my opinion, this just proves that Michael Thomas needs attention or more affirmation.
Oh, yeah. I do think Saints receivers are underappreciated. Anybody can play in the Saints system and put up numbers. But
he is great, but the fact that he doesn't have everybody's, in caps, everybody's respect hurts him. He's got a low-key ego. And yes, I get that they don't play each other this year. They don't have to play each other this year. It's about, at the end of the day, putting on a fucking show, putting on a highlight reel. Also,
yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's trash talk NFL. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah. I think it was misconstrued as Michael Thomas was going at fans.
To me, the big deal is the public outcry. To me, the big deal is the public outcry because, like, all right, I'll put it like this. And maybe this is just once again, in the time span of which I grew up. Me personally, I appreciate that. I would hope that, we've heard stories and we've seen in this Last Dance documentary, Jordan go at his teammates and talk shit to his teammates to make them better. And even other players around the league, he has a mouth with. I've heard that Kobe has had a mouth with other players, and Kobe has told me, you ain't fucking with me, you ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't shit, da-da-da-da. This is fucking sports. This is a group of gentlemen that are all fucking alpha males competing to be the top alpha male. And even though they may play for teams and that team may win something, they are still having their own personal goals. There's certain goals set for that position and certain things, yada, yada, yada. What I don't like is the public outcry over it because I've seen this not like it happened first. The first things I saw that were in our Discord. Then from Discord, it was on Twitter. Then from Twitter, it was Instagram. And then Facebook. And everyone's like, Michael Thomas, yeah! What I have to say to and I'm going to end this segment like this. What I have to say to everyone that is so outraged by Michael Thomas doing what he did or saying what he did. You are the same people that when parenting or when parented want a participation trophy. We don't give out participation trophies over here, whatever the fuck the word is. I don't care if you participate or not. You can play the game. You're not as good as me. At some point, you got to be alpha, and this is just this man reasserting that he's alpha now in the public eye. Some people be like, oh, well, you shouldn't talk down on Devontae Parker publicly. Clearly, he's not in the same league. Shut up. You're being soft. Stop. Everyone just has to stop being soft. Everyone just has to stop being soft. Let these two dudes duke it out, and let's just be informed by it. And Devontae Parker, if you're really that good, you'll take everything that Michael Thomas said to heart and you'll use it to fuel you. Whenever someone doubts me, I use it to fuel me. That's what good top people do. That's what good top athletes do. Next topic.
In the end, it's entertainment that will never really come to anything big, to be honest.
Exactly.
But it's off-season entertainment, so
Yeah, no one's upset when WWE fucking wrestlers talk shit to each other. Like, but now all of a sudden, like, in a real sport, people do it. No, this is childish. This is wrong. He's insecure. Come on. Maybe you're emphasizing with Devontae Parker because you might feel that way. Maybe because you've had that happen to you and you don't like being alpha. That just means you have to get better at whatever it is that you're doing. Let's see here. Next up, Texas and California have state professional sports can resume May 31st. Are these the national dominoes we need to fall in order for life to get back to normal? Or is it just, they're starting up, it is what it is?
I think businesses are going to be relatively back to normal in about 3 months, and I think it'll be a pretty smooth transition back to society. But in sports now, I don't see fans in the stands this year for the NFL at the same capacity. I don't see the engagement with the media. I think this will be very much a scrimmage type feel for all sports coming up. So sports will be the last thing to catch up, really, I think, in terms of being like a relevant feel of this is me going to a ball game. But I think the government opening up is a bigger deal to normal life return than the sports. I don't see sports coming back full swing until next year, to be honest, or maybe December.
Now, when you say full swing, is that fans in the stands and everything?
Yeah, like you go to a game and not think about it. You don't have to have a lady put your beer or cocktail you order onto a freaking foam thing for you to grab with gloves. I think that's going to continue with the limited fan bases, like 20% of the stands, all until probably the end of the NFL season. I don't see that changing, to be honest. I could see a Super Bowl with only advertisers allowed to go. I really could.
Everyone has to be in press boxes.
But I do think people will be back to work soon and their lives will be more normal. It's just you can't go to a sporting event. I think that's going to be the last thing to be normal again, to be honest. Which, hey, it's better. I'd rather see everyone back at work than have people in the stands at a football game. So I'm okay with that.
Yo, if I saw people in stands on national TV but people not working, I'd be like, yo, this stimulus check is going to spent the completely fucking wrong way. I'd be questioning the way that, I mean, it's people's money, but I question the way that it's fucking getting spent. Because you know, that's our taxes and shit, you know? So, I mean, we need these dominoes to fall. I mean, if California and Texas are going to open up two of the biggest states that take up the United States, especially in terms of population and you know, lawful influence, economics, things of that nature.
Two of the top 4 biggest cities in the U.S., L.A. and Houston.
Yeah. So I mean, having them, that makes me feel like the NFL will go on as need be.
But teams will lose money. They need the gate, and they're not going to get many people in those stands cleared.
Yeah, there's not going to be fans in the stands, and I mean,
no season tickets.
Yeah, no season tickets. It's all bad from that standpoint.
But offenses are going to go off, dude.
Maybe
no crowd noise on the road.
Noise. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we get some type of I don't know. We get some type of special type of thing where
they're gonna pump music in. They said actually.
Pump music.
They talked about it, which would be awful. Just play the game. My opinion.
Fuck it. Hey, if they're opening up, this is a good sign. Sports are back, bitches. Let's get into the next topic. Bills. Yeah, I believe that we're on. Oh no, actually no, we are not getting there yet. The NFL is looking at N95 level face coverings for players to use while in play. Do you see this as being a practical solution in maintaining social distancing and public health, or is this probably going to be like more of a distraction? Like, are there going to be like linemen moving, trying to like adjust their mask and shit?
I don't see this happening at all. um, it. I get the
Really?
mask is to keep you from getting other people sick, but you still have to breathe, right? And at some point you have to call signals, and it's going to be a big deal of how often do you change it. Oh, this player's out for a mask change for a play. If the mask comes loose, they're going to change taking the helmet off. Because if you take the helmet off to adjust the mask, guess what? You have to leave the game for a play. And it's such a mess. Is there gonna be like a rule change for that? Because to adjust your mask, you have to take the helmet off. To take the helmet off, you lose a play. So there's so many changes. I don't see this working for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I don't think that this is literally logical. Like it says here in the chat, Tank Loop, save N95 for doctors, use the 3Ms. Look, we're already talking about taking tests and utilizing tests to be able to test players of multiple leagues, which is a lot of personnel to run these sports organizations, to test these players and these people for Corona on a daily basis. So there's already a possible source, a possible resource that could be used for patients. But we've also been reassured there's plenty of tests to go around now. We don't have that problem. That's what we're told. Now, whether or not that shit is true, we'll figure out if there's a second wave. Secondly, I don't want to put a goddamn thing over my face while I have to play. Like, I'm gonna just go out there and risk it. Risk it for the biscuit, baby. Because I don't think I could put something over my nose and my mouth and run.
Yeah, that doesn't seem the most logical way to do things.
Yeah. I mean, I've done like altitude training with like a breathable, like kind of like face mask. But I mean, that's designed for me to breathe, not to protect me from anything coming in.
Yeah. Well, the idea of the mask is it limits the nostrils being able to put air and get people sick, right? Basic breathing. And NFL players need to be able to breathe out of their nose, if possible. So it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know how players that wear visors, like I don't know how that's just gonna work. You have people that have prescription visors.
Swab them before and after the game. If before they leave the facility, fly them there, no contact, get them to a hotel, and then test them before a game, the day before a game, have them see nobody and play the game. I don't think.
What I really feel is use the UFC and NASCAR and whatever baseball does come June or July, because baseball is going to be coming back. See what those guys do, and just be like, yo, this is what's up. This is how we're going to operate. If player tests, you just can't play, and you got to be quarantined. You know, I say we try and run it like that. Right now, we're not hearing cases of guys in the UFC. If they're getting cuts and punched and open wounds, and they're not going down with corona, with open wounds, I think that there might be some type of capacity, depending on the end of antibody testing, to where, hey, maybe they're fine. Maybe athletes, because of their rigorous activity, it kills it off. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor.
Well, the UFC has it kind of figured out. They still let players or fighters leave the hotel and go out and get food, which that's one thing that's a problem because they test them the second they get there, let them do what they want to do for 3 days, and then once they leave after the fight, they test them again. If you catch it going around town, wherever you're at, that is an issue I don't know how to get around for players or athletes in general. So
It's an enemy. There's not really a way to get around it.
Yeah, so I mean, if that NFL is concerned about that, I get it. Just don't play. But I mean, you can be as safe as you want to. It's still going to affect you. with some abnormalities. People can't sit in a hotel room for 5 days.
No, fucking hotels suck. Especially when you're in a place where you don't know. You're in this place that you don't know about. You're like, yo, I want to go see what the town is like. I want to see what the people are like. So I definitely dig that. Let's get on to the Buffalo Bills. Bills defensive tackle Ed Oliver. Another one. We've already had Cody Latimer and the Dunbar and Baker situation. Another one has been arrested. Bills defensive tackle Ed Oliver was arrested on DUI and unlawfully carrying a firearm. Ed was driving a Super Duty Ford pickup, carrying a dune buggy on trailer when a motorist snitched. I think the guy that behind him was following with Takashi. A motorist called him in for doing 45 in a construction zone. Is quarantine setting these guys up to get in trouble more than usual? And should we worry about Ed Oliver, like in terms of getting in trouble right now?
45 in a construction zone. So you're double the fine in a construction zone. You're going double the speed limit. Not good. I'm just thinking as someone who doesn't have a lot of money having to pay a ticket. This is just, he had a beer between his legs too, right? Am I correct by that before I clarify my statements? Well, if he had a can of beer between his legs, that's open container. 45 in a zone where it's actually 25 most likely. That's reckless ought. I want to say this is a big deal, but he doesn't have a history of it, so I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. If it's just a DUI and a gun charge, I think he'll be fine. This is definitely put him on the substance abuse list and let him figure it out, but I don't think he should miss too many games or any games at all for this. I'll let Robbie make his point, but I think this is his first screw up. Put him on the list and watch him. But, I mean, the worst I see here is the open container of beer. That's the worst thing I see, to be honest. DUI and open container of beer.
GM, you bring up a good point, and we're going to attack that next. I wish I would have got to that comment before I went into this Ed Oliver topic. First off, my take is fuck the person that was like if you can. All right. No, I do not condone drinking and driving. Okay. But at the same time, this does sound like just a classic Sunday.
Dude was being dumb with an open container of booze in his, or open bottle.
It is
bottle booze in
you
his
have an open bottle. It is dumb for you.
or open can of beer, but
Yeah, because he had
it does not matter.
beer like this in between his legs when he got pulled over. You know, it was in between his legs. So yes, that is stupid. Should you be drinking and driving? Absolutely the fuck not. But it sounds like that this was a wrong place, wrong time type of thing. I don't think the quarantine is getting more guys in trouble per se. I think that more so what is happening is just that we're aligning quarantine with the same time frame to where players are kind of having their off season, especially the veterans, and they're getting in trouble. They would already be getting in trouble, period. Now, maybe the quarantine thing makes the situations of which they're getting in trouble a little bit differently. It sounds like Ed Oliver to me went out, had a good old time with the homies, driving dune buggies, you know, fucking ripping up some big jumps and some sand hills and shit. And then he was having a beer on his drive back home. Maybe got a little bit too drunk, swerved one or two, three times. You're going 45 in a construction zone. That's just definitely fucking bad. You're not allowed to do that.
Dude, that's a quadruple fine and like 4 points off your license.
Exactly. I mean, and then on top of that, I mean, everyone whenever they go out to like the mountains or like the desert, they all take their guns with them. You know, like if you don't take your gun with you when you're going when you're up at the mountains camping, like what fun are you having?
Well, to my knowledge, the gun charges usually get dropped.
Yeah, the gun
pretty quick in this.
Going to be dropped.
So
it sucks that he was drinking. Just don't drink and drive. And that's really what the big lesson here is.
But he'll be tested every week for everything possible now, because he'll probably have to go on the list and probably have 3 years where he can't literally go out with his teammates and have a beer. He'll be pretty hard watched. So that sucks.
We're gonna go ahead and dive into this YouTube question here. Do you think players will be prejudiced towards other players that had corona? Like people are going to be extra terrified of Von Miller. I
Um, I
I
tend to lean no, because I think players have this veil of invincibility, where I'm a young, healthy athlete. I think I'm good.
exactly. I feel like they're going to treat it as if any other player that's ever gotten sick. Like no one was running from fucking Sam Darnold when he got mono.
Or what was the one that? Oh, it was like 2007 with the Browns, where like 18 guys got a staph infection, and they kept playing.
Yeah, like I think
Like that's the worst one of all. And it's like, well, if you're gonna get a staph infection, you have to get paid to play football. So I'll take the chance.
exactly.
Plus, I mean, oh, stay away, Von Miller. No, please play football, Von Miller. You're very good for the team.
Let's
I will
figure
gladly
this-
line up to next to Von Miller than your backup because Von's gonna get there more often than the backup will.
let's dive into this next topic and our final football topic of today's show. Speaking of players being in trouble, New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker pleads not guilty in his armed robbery case. Attorneys for Dunbar and Baker have statements from witnesses of the scene stating that the two are stating the two's innocence. Are you buying either of these guys' innocence realistically? I mean, what's your take on this whole situation?
We do not know the story of this. I don't think there were only two people with firearms at this location. I think this was a lot worse than people think it was, and I think somebody went out and left, and somebody called the police, meaning the people who were robbed, and it's like, if this gets investigated, we're all going down. So at this point, we might as well just say, drop everything, not guilty. We're going to drop our case, give me our stuff back, and we're good.
So it sounds like you're saying a lot of motherfuckers had a lot of fucking guns.
I'm not saying guns. I'm saying there was more altercations, and I'm saying this was worse than we thought. And I'm saying there were more. If this gets investigated, it'll turn out worse for everybody. So it's like, give it back, figure it out. I don't think the police want to get involved either. And if they just say, drop it all, things happened, give the money back, or give them that much money back for what you stole, and it's over. I don't think anyone wants to get involved with this farther. This is my opinion.
That's
Drunk
what
dudes gambling $70,000
with
with firearms and weapons there, and probably other substances. You do not want to have the police get involved with. And the police don't.
Especially in the state of Florida.
I think everyone wants to get away from it. The police, the athletes, the people there, just stay away. Get everyone out of it.
Here's the question, Jake. Okay. Do you feel like maybe from a police standpoint in a society, because I always talk about how society is changing the way that we think and the way that we view issues and so many other things. Do you think the police are looking at this and like gambling is legal now? If there was marijuana in the vicinity, marijuana is legal now. I don't know what Florida's stance on it, but pretty much.
I don't think it's legal in Florida, but
I don't think it's.
I don't think it.
Yeah, Florida has a pillar.
It might not be. If it is, it's a ticket. It's not anything.
Yeah. But you think that maybe like the cops looking at this and like, man, this is just too much fucking paperwork, and we just really don't need this right now. How do we get these charges dropped? Like I feel like the police are kind of even like, let's just let this be. Like they're like a call that they really did not want to have a fucking answer.
Yeah. I think the police went out of it. I think everybody knows it's best just to make sure everyone gets their property back and just move on. At this point.
Because I
think they might get suspended still because it does look bad in the situation.
I don't think a fucking or Dunbar or even Latimer for the matter. We can go ahead and take. I mean, his situation is a little bit different.
Man, I don't want to comment on that until I know exactly what happened with his son. I want everything to come out legit before I have any opinion on anything.
Out involved, I was like, "Fuck, we can't put this on the script." I was like, "We need to be
no." If you have a credible,
we need to know.
This
like,
kid
really know.
This kid was abused by this dude's friend. I mean, hey, lucky it didn't get much worse. So. But yeah, I mean, this situation sounds like you guys were drunk, doing something really stupid, gambling too much money. You guys had a shark who knew you could make money off the NFL players. It turned out really bad when these players kept losing money against a good gambler. Guess what? Forget it happened. We do not want anyone to get in trouble here. Don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like there may have been some cheating involved in this gambling.
I think they had a shark. I think someone knew it's like, these dudes are dumb. We can make money off them. We know what we're doing.
I heard that there was a rumor of possibly loaded die.
Okay, maybe. Well, all I know is they invited them back for a reason because they knew they could make money off these dudes, and they made money off these dudes. So
yeah. Hey, all I'm gonna say is you come to a goddamn game with loaded dice around me, or I find out that you fuck with a deck of cards. I'm liable to kick you over in the chair that you're sitting in. Just saying.
Well, I like Pat McAfee's quote. I've heard this happen a lot, but it's always the athletes who get robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah, it's always the fucking athletes.
So, Pat's like, I've never heard the athletes doing the robbing because that's just kind of too obvious that it's the athletes and they're going to get caught.
And here's what I think with the athletes. I think the athletes, when they're gambling, because like gambling is fun and gambling is kind of like a thing that you should.
It's competitive. It's competitive. You want your money back. You want to win. You don't care about the money in the end of it all. It's about the principle of losing to this person. So
what I think is that these athletes, when they're laying down cash and they're laying down bets, they know they can pay it off. So they're just going and going and going. And because they know they can go and go and go, they end up getting in these scenarios where people are like, this is an easy lick.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's just going to keep going. You know, this guy's just going to keep playing. And then when the athlete figures out, all of a sudden, now it's an issue. Oh, he pulled a gun on me. Well, you were fucking cheating and being a not having integrity prick. Next topic.
Hey, just think. If the Javaris Crittenton that's in jail and went back to gang life had Gilbert Arenas in his eyesights when that all happened, it could have been a much worse situation.
I don't even know if I can say too soon with that one.
Jeez, man, that dude went full back into it. That dude didn't go behind the scenes.
Can we get the Wizards' last dance? Like, can we get the Wizards 30 for 30 of Arenas and them boys? I'm down. Give me 1 second. Woo! Excuse me. Sorry. I don't think I've ever sneezed on a show. Wow. Let's go ahead and dive into your topic, and this is what we have you here for. You're the resident UFC analyst. The UFC had like 2 or 3 super successful events within the last like 2 or 3 weeks. Both cards lived up to the hype for the UFC Jacksonville series. Does this prove that sports can operate in this pandemic? And will other commissioners reach out to Dana White for advice?
I think more independent sports like boxing and other MMA promotions could do it. My issue is the NFL will have to operate at a crazy loss to come back without fans. And it makes it very hard for them to make an easy transition back because the UFC lost $5 million at the gate with the Tony Ferguson Gaethje fight. That's a lot of money, and that is 13,000 fans if they could have fans there. The issue is the NFL is going to be losing 60,000 fans, potentially. Can they survive that? I'm not so sure, and I think it makes it... I think the protocol's there. Can the NFL take that loss? They will, this year at least, luckily. But MLB, I don't know if they want to take that loss. And they're telling players to take pay cuts because the losses they're going to take. And if I'm a pitcher, I'm not pitching on less money. My arm will snap, and for a year I'm getting paid less. No way. No. Like.
And MLB is claiming that it's going to be a 50-50 revenue split. I mean, I just feel like the MLB is trying to find a way to for them personally to slide in a salary cap, which is something they've never had before. So I think that the MLB is using this coronavirus pandemic as a way for them to kind of get loaded right now. Now, in terms of other leagues, I think that other leagues are going to reach out to Dana White. And my concern is Dana White going to be transparent about the possible cases that come up positive post-fight from his... I just see Dana White, like especially after watching the Teixeira event, where Teixeira had clearly had won the fight over Smith. And that should have been stopped way sooner. I feel like, Dana, you're being desperate for these views at this given moment. You're letting this play out. And I get that Dana doesn't sway decisions, but I feel like Dana may have said, no matter what the fuck happens, make this go as long as it possibly can.
Well, Dana called out the official and the afterwards, but the official actually said it's all my fault. Like Herzog took total responsibility for the fight going too long. Dana was upset that he went after the fifth. That was the issue with Dana, where it's like, you're gonna let this dude go out there? This is unbelievable. So he was upset that it made the sport look bad because it was the only thing on TV. The transparency issue, Dana's already had the issue of that because he said Jacare walked in, tested, left, no contact with people. But in fact, he was talking to a couple fighters on the same card as him, and he was like laughing around, dancing and stuff outside of the arena, and like bumping into people, dabbing them up. And it's like, no, Dana, they were socializing outside the event, laughing with each other.
Yeah.
They were not distancing at all. It looks really bad. He's like, oh no, they were distanced, they were separated. No, Dana, there's tape of Jacare Souza on Instagram dancing around, laughing with people on the same fight card. And it's like, no, Dana, you're wrong. And he's like, oh, I didn't see that part. No, Dana, you're lying. Everyone knew Dana White was lying. They were not socially distanced outside of that hotel when they were tested. So, who knows? I mean, are there more fighters that tested positive? No, because they tested later. But if two fighters tested positive besides Jacare Souza after that fight card, when they flew back out, you would have to say, Dana, you messed up because you let these fighters socialize before. Bad move. But transparency will be tough for other sports leagues because there's 53 people, right?
Yeah.
The chances you're going to have 53 people in a locker room for a game.
Well, that's just
who are all going their own way in a city, at a hotel they're outside of the hotel they're at, and nobody catches it and gives it to the rest of the team is so slim. You have a 25-person fight card, and somebody had it. Imagine how many players are going to catch it or run into people who catch it and then give it to the rest of the team in football.
Exactly. Like I mean, look, coming from an athlete's standpoint of view, one thing that athletes, when we're at the top of our game, and especially from the media standpoint, we're at the top of our game that we love, is hooking up. And there's gonna be one of these NFL guys that are gonna go and hook up with some quarantine pussy, and they're gonna end up getting put back into quarantine themselves. And I don't say that to be harsh or anything.
Or even socializing, too. Let's be real. These players want to go out, drink with their friends who are their teammates, and have fun because they couldn't for so long.
I think that is something so much more secular and something so much more intimate that will blow the whole thing up for everyone. Like, I don't think that it's going to be, something as simple as going out socializing.
Hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. Hopefully they don't.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that some of these guys are going to kind of be pretty disciplined about their shit. I mean, you're right. There are going to be guys. I mean, we see guys, they're at parties gambling with each other, pulling guns on each other right now.
Yeah.
So actually, you're right, Jake. I take back everything I just said.
Yeah, here's my thing. If you have 4 teammates or an offensive line that flies back in, whatever, for training camp or flies to a city for a game, and you think these guys, usually linemen are good friends, are not going to go out for a few drinks and have fun then 2 days before a game, you're crazy, right? They're going to find a way for veteran linemen to go out, hang out, and have drinks. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're not wrong. Shout out to Triple M up in the chat. Dilly to Triple M.
But yeah, I just don't see how you're going to keep these players contained in a hotel. You have 53 guys to make sure that they do not leave their rooms. You're going to have coaches stand in the hallway all night and make sure they don't break curfew? Like, nope, stay in. Do not go out to the bars. So, I mean, I think the testing is going to be there. It's just a matter of, I'm not even saying lack of discipline. I don't know anybody who could sit in a hotel for 4 days before a game and not go crazy. Like,
Agreed. Dennis Rodman didn't do it. Yeah, Carmen Electra. Yo, if I was quarantined with Carmen Electra, it would make it so much easier. Just saying. Can you believe that she still looks the way that she does, bro?
Huh?
Can you believe she still looks the way that she does?
Man, her surgeon better be sponsored on every single thing she posts.
Don't play that. I'll run an ad for her surgeon. I'll be like, yo, you need to pay me. Like, you need to pay me a quarter
Yeah.
of a milli. I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure everybody goes to like the Kardashian surgeon for that stuff now, right? I'm pretty sure he's like stupid famous
Yo,
in the hills, just waiting. Oh, you want to look like this person? We could transform what you look like in 2
hey,
minutes.
I ain't never done it, but I'm gonna say this because I have been drinking on this episode, like I do every episode. But I kind of do want to know what it's like to like stick your face in fake butt cheeks. Like, does it feel like normal butt cheeks? Like does it feel like natural butt cheeks? Like, or can you feel the silicone in the ass? Like, I've never grabbed a fake ass, so I kind of want to know.
Yeah, Jim of the Icon, my alma mater from college. So
Youngstown State Shop, Youngstown State Shop, at Jake.
Penguins. The coolest mascot you could have, actually.
Let's see. What's next for Overeem and Harris, bro?
Overeem has cemented himself as the ultimate journeyman. He'll put on a good fight. He'll occasionally stop somebody on the ground or get knocked out.
Wait. Did you just call him the Nick Foles of UFC?
I would say that's relatively fair to say. He's inconsistent now at his age in terms of what he does. He's kind of that gatekeeper. At his age, I don't see how you're going to move him past 4 on the contender list because he gets knocked out in highlight ways the past 15 years. His last decision loss was 2005.
Has he ever had a belt? Wait. Has he ever had a belt?
He's had a belt in everything but the UFC.
So then wait.
He's been fighting since 1995.
Foles has a ring. Foles has a ring. So therefore,
yeah, there you go.
Overeem is the NFL or the UFC version of Case Keenum, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
that's closer. You're kind of could start. You kind of could be in that contention for a Pro Bowl sometimes based on how that performance. You have that year, that's great. But he just kind of is an older guy who can beat anybody or lose in really bad ways to anybody at any point. Walt Harris, I think he could be a solid gatekeeper. He had to step over him and get over his early rush of power. He's 35, 36, I think. So he has to learn how to Walt Harris. He got into the game late. So he has to learn how to survive on the ground, avoid a takedown. Because at heavyweight, it really should be hard to take you down. It doesn't happen very often, but if you're that easy to take down, you definitely have to work on a defensive plan. Or anybody who has any wrestling experience will absolutely expose you.
Yeah.
And beat you down, like happened with Alistair. So he's one of those guys. I think could be, right now, he's a very similar draw to Derek Lewis, except Derek Lewis is a better fighter. And he's actually a slightly better fighter. Both struggle on the ground. I think his peak, if he could get a good takedown defense.
Wait. Did you just pick Derek Lewis over Walt Harris?
Yeah, I think he's able to survive on the ground. Have you seen Derek Lewis in his last fight get taken down and survive?
Jake, I've watched the film. That's why I'm asking the question.
Derek Lewis didn't get finished on the ground.
It is fucking maddening that you would say this to me, of all people.
All right.
Oh, all right.
All I know is Derek Lewis could get taken down and survive. Walt Harris was taken down and was finished.
Jake, you want to call Dana White and have him set the Lewis Harris fight, or do you want me to do it?
I would love to see that fight, by the way. That'd be awesome.
Make the call. If you make the call, I'll make the call.
But I'm just saying, I think at this point, I like the ability to defend himself on the ground in Derek Lewis much more than I do Walt Harris, because Walt Harris was taken down once and finished. So, I mean, I don't want to be the person. I understand what happened to his family and it's awful, but he was really exposed.
You're being a realist, and that's what your job as an analyst.
Am I wrong? He was super exposed. He was taken down once and finished. Like, that is not a good sign.
Did you see my play-by-play? Did you see how like deflated? Like I went from it's a bear bombing to I call that fight calm. Like I've never.
It was not great.
Not.
But yeah, if he could learn to survive on the ground and do some damage, it's shown takedowns do not mean much in the judge's eyes. So you survive and get out of there, and then you knock the guy out the next round is great. But at that lack of skill level on the ground, it does not look good for him against the top 6 heavyweight. I'm just saying, for either guy, for different reasons. Alistair gets knocked out quick and ugly in ways where it's like, oh, you don't want to see that. He was winning the fight, just got crushed with one punch late in the third. All right, but he was winning the fight. Walt Harris is going to probably win that first round and do some damage. But once he tires and he gets to the ground, he has no defense. He has no guard. And
I don't get how fighters can be one-round fighters and make it
regional, man. Regional.
Yeah.
A lot of those, Greg Hardy knocks him out in 50 seconds. Who cares? Does he need a ground game? We don't know. Against the UFC. He doesn't have a ground game. Okay. Once he goes to the ground, it gets really bad. This is not a good sign.
Does he need a ground game? We don't know. Fuck it. Just lock him.
That is the approach, though. It's like, does he have it? We don't know. He never used it. Okay, he fights a guy that could take his shots, takes him to the ground. He needs some work. Clearly, but
I fucking love it.
Am I wrong?
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not.
Regional is so hard to judge because you have to see what they could do when they're in adverse situations, and a lot of guys show once they're on the ground and their biggest punches that knock somebody out. It's like, well, I have some shit to work on. It's gonna be bad. Pretty ugly.
I got some shit that I do. Clearly.
And when you're on the ground, it's like, oh, this is how I get choked out. Okay, this is what I don't want to do next time.
You know what? You make very valid points. I'm not even going to debate you.
I want to say, okay, he'll come back, he'll develop, but he's older already. Is he going to learn how to defend himself?
You can't teach no dog new tricks, brother. You can't teach no dog new tricks.
But I hope he fights Derek Lewis, gets a great win, and at the next UFC Alabama, and has a moment with the fans in Birmingham, because they do have a hotbed there. They have UFC Birmingham every year. If he could fight there, get a win, and they could honor his daughter, great. That'd be really great.
I agree. Jimmo the Icon in the chat asked, what's everyone's take on Rousey? Is she coming back to UFC or WWE or neither? Or do you care? I personally, so the way I'll answer...
She's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. She's not coming back.
Yeah, she's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. She's not coming back. I think she's ready to raise a family and maybe do some movies. It's movie time.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to go back on the road. She's been, her and Travis Brown have been trying to have a kid forever. And
never mind. I am not going to make that joke because it's not nice to joke about people that can't possibly have kids.
And she's giving up the wrestling money too. She said that she does not. She'll give the full-time contract back. She didn't serve the year. She said, "Keep the money. I don't want to do it." So
I'm gonna go in and say it. Look, as long as they've been trying to have a kid, I'm gonna be honest. Homie ain't hitting that right. Like, listen, that's muscle booty that you're hitting, right? And when you have a muscle booty, you gotta make sure that you spread the cheeks, because like the cheeks are they got muscle, right? So they're gonna grab around you. You can't do that. So you gotta. And that's maybe why he's not getting enough oxygen flow, so that his kids can make this happen. You gotta get that oxygen flow. Spread the muscle booty, and then you release. All right?
It could be the stress, man. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
She retired from this high stress situation, and she bought a giant farm. She takes care of herself. Why? She added a more stressful job for herself. So
it's her fault. It's her fault. Ronda Rousey.
But she hates people. I mean, she does hate people. She hates fans. She hates socializing on the road. She hates the press events. So I think she's done, and I think she's made a ton of money with the movies in her run. So
Ronda Rousey.
Good for her.
Ronda Rousey.
She is the most successful.
Ronda Rousey.
I mean this well, by the way. She's the most successful high school dropout ever, in my opinion.
Ronda Rousey. I'm free this weekend, girl. Let me know if you need that. Get up in that thing like Ken Gates. Let's
Robbie
get to
will be
the
your-
last topic. We're already talking
Hey,
about.
Rhonda, Robbie will be your armbar.
Yep. Yeah, I'll armbar you. Let's go and get into the last topic, the very last topic of the show, ladies and gentlemen. First off, I appreciate everyone for joining us on today's show. Make sure you check out tonight on Jimmo the Icon. Jimmo the Icon's going to have GMM Network Bogard over there on his show. They're going to be discussing top celebrities that you want to be stranded on an island with. So make sure you guys check that motherfucker out. It's going to be litty than a titty. You already know how it be. Rum Boys ENT, Rum Boys Fantasy Sports Network here on YouTube, Twitter, Sportscaster. We are everywhere. Make sure you guys support us. Just Google us at this point. Last take. Jake, what does it take for Spencer to be able to defeat the Lioness Nunez come June 6th? That's our next big event. Play-by-play coming June 6th. What are we talking, bro?
So, as bad as it sounds to say, she has to get it on the ground and absolutely dominate the black belt Amanda Nunez on the ground for 5 rounds and take it to a decision. Which will be very tough, and I don't think it'll happen because Amanda is very functional on the ground. She isn't, I mean, she's a black belt. We've seen her have to fight Jermaine Durandere on the ground. She's not technical. She's strong, and she can beat you up and survive. So
I'll be honest. I knew that Nunez was that, she was that motherfucker after the Rousey fight, right? Which was her state to claim it, which set her ablaze. But
on the feet too. That was like, this girl has stones for fist, man. She hurts people.
But you brought the Duraname fight. You brought the Duraname fight. And I just think that Nunez is so well balanced, bro.
That's her specialty, and people don't know that about it. So, yeah, Felicia Spencer should work strength with strength if she can, but I mean, Amanda likes to strike, and Amanda can beat you up on the ground. So,
like, can I be honest, Jake? Can I be honest? Are you and me?
And featherweight sucks. The UFC featherweight division for the women is bad. There's no talent there. It's just ballooned up bantamweights. I don't know why the title still exists, to be honest. So,
we're not realistically thinking that Spencer can do anything, bro. Are we?
No, unless Amanda it hurts her knee stepping into the cage, it doesn't look great.
I mean,
knock on this fake desk wood. It doesn't happen, but yeah.
By the way, shout out to Jake for his brand new setup. If you guys have not checked out,
Yeah, man. Yep.
looks like his background looks like he's stepped out of the episode of Gundam.
I was going with Rurouni Kenshin from 1993.
Kenshin's definitely, yeah.
First Blade Sword. I watched all of that like last week, by the way. Still a great anime, but yeah, her strength is what Amanda's better at, and Amanda is an absolutely jacked, skilled 145er, and Spencer is going to get hurt on the feet, and if you can't take Amanda down and get on top of her and make her use her guard, it's going to be ugly. And also, Spencer, with her striking, is not going to knock Amanda down on the feet to even get her on her.
Can I ask a question, brother? What are you thinking that it really takes to defeat a fighter of Nunez's caliber? Is she probably, and also, is she the greatest female fighter that we've ever seen to date?
Oh, no doubt. She is a top 5 pound for pound most dominant fighter of all time. No debate there. And I laugh about this because she asked, after knocking out Ronda and Cyborg, Dana, would you please consider me for the Hall of Fame one day? And Dana's like, what? Yes, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Like, yeah, of course. It's going to take somebody who's a more technical boxer and functional in ground defense and takedown defense. There is nothing else because she has the strongest hands in all divisions.
Yeah.
And she is the best on the ground. So it's going to take somebody who's a more technical on the feet fighter to knock her down, kind of twist her mind a little bit where she doesn't know where she's at and finish her before she can defend herself. But
if I'm not,
I don't see it. I think she'll retire on a huge win streak and will walk away in like 4 years and say,
so
best
if I'm
ever, no doubt.
mistaken, Jake. And final question. we're not seeing Nunez's reign in for a very long time. Is what it sounds like.
I don't think she'll lose again. I think she'll retire. Her wife's pregnant, so she wants to raise a family. So that's another thing. So Nina, I think, is moving on, and I think Amanda will as well. Before she has a challenger right there, and everyone's talking Clarissa Shields from boxing, but
Yeah. I don't
again,
know.
man, takedown doesn't matter. Everyone's saying Kayla. What's her Kayla from PFL?
Fucking Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison. Yeah, I was gonna say Patterson for some reason. But again, they trained together, and Kayla's fights at 160. So, Amanda's a freak. She's the best women's fighter of all time, and she may remain that way. I think she's the female GSP. I really do.
The answer, Jimmo, he's asking not Rousey. Off in the chat.
No, not Rousey. She is not the best fighter of all time.
Yeah, Rousey's definitely not.
She might be top 3, top 2.
I put her top 3. I make her the number 3.
I think you would have to go with Amanda.
You got to go with Amanda Nunez. You have to respect. I mean,
Yeah.
I
would go Valentina, and then I would probably go Ronda.
Yeah.
And you could argue anybody who beat Ronda should go over her, so Holly Holm, but I don't think Holly Holm's better fighter than Ronda. I don't think, but I think she's a worse fighter than Ronda. I think she's a worse fighter. I think she got lucky. I really do.
Hey.
So I would give Ronda top 3 still for sure. But again, UFC's only allowed women to fight for 9 years, so it's gonna be a big improvement in the next 5 years with UFC women's divisions.
No fighter's better than my girl Rachel Stovich. I'm just talking about looks, but I'm not even talking about her fighting style. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Rum Report. Here with your boy, Rum Boys Robbie, aka the Admiral, joined by my co-host. You can find him on rumboys.com. You can find him on Twitter at rumboysb. Wow. You know what? You do your own shout out. Close yourself out, Jay.
Rum Boys Combat on Sportscaster, Twitter, and rumboysfantasynetwork.com. So, yep, find me there. There'll be articles coming up for the card in the next couple weeks. And the 6th, we get a little break. We had a good 18 fight in a 1 week span, and now we get a good week and a half off, which is great. But it's going to come back full force soon when more states open up. So.
Yeah, we'll be back with more UFC action June 6th. Make sure you guys hit up rumboys.com for all of your UFC updates. Check us out over there in the Captain's Corner with that poop deck forum. Also with that, make sure you guys check us out over on fanatics.com if you have not. But make sure when you use fanatics.com, you're utilizing the Rum Boys link. All right, we got an exclusive promo code. We're going to have promo codes rolling out for you each and every single week so that you can be able to purchase new merch each and every single week. This week we are doing 25% off on all of your team's merch over on Fanatics.com. So that's all the NBA teams and players, all the fucking NFL and all their players. We got PJ NASCAR, fucking you name it, any sport, MLB, NHL. Check us out, Fanatics.com. We are partnered over there. They gave us a special link that we can give you guys so that you can get discounts. Check it out. Hook it the fuck up. You know what's good. Also, check us out on monkeyknifefight.com. On monkeyknifefight.com. Your daily fantasy sports betting or your daily fantasy sports playing website for any and all sports. You have everything from esports to fucking UFC to you name it. MLB, NFL, NBA, we have fantasy games starting up for those soon. As soon as those sports get opened up and get started back up. If you're tired of being broke, you want to win some cold hard cash, head over to monkeyknifefight.com, enter in promo code RUMBOYS, and we're going to match your deposit, your very first deposit, all the way up to $50. You might as well put the whole $50 in and get an extra $50. Now you're playing with $100 in games to win money. So Other than that, Jake, anything else, bro?
No, I think we're good. I have to go back to work, so.
Fuck yeah. Make sure you guys catch Jimmo the Icon on his YouTube channel. Just search Jimmo the Icon, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what that is specific. I believe that is what 9, 8, 7, 6. That is 6 p.m. 6, 7. That is 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern over on or 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. God damn it. Fuck. Or 6 p.m. Pacific. Whatever the fuck.
3 hours, 2 hours,
It's
1 hour for
it's 4 hours between the East Coast and the West Coast.
3. It's 3, right?
It's
3.
It's four.
Ah, okay.
So it's three.
Yeah.
It's 3 from where I'm at. No. From where I'm at, it's 2 hours. It's a 2-hour difference.
Yep.
So yeah, you're
Vegas
1
is
hour.
3. California might be. I don't know what California is.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Anyways, this has been the Rum Report. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. And all the Rum boys and girls, what it do. Dilly, y'all. We love and appreciate all of you. Rumboys.com, yeah, bitch.